For this one, take your, if you're mirroring me, take your right foot and plant it like 45 degrees and step a little bit forward with your left. So I'm doing my right, but don't freak out. So just mirror me. This is your left foot forward, your right foot back. The right foot's about 45 degrees. The left foot can be turned out just a little bit. It's a kind of modified bow stance from Chinese martial arts. And sink your hips a little bit and imagine that there's a big cauldron in front of you. And the top of the liquid in the cauldron, but the height of your navel. And we're going to begin just by dipping the hands into the liquid. Maybe it's golden elixir, and you're going to begin to stir it. And if your left foot is forward, then as you look down at your hands, you're stirring it counterclockwise. Stirring it counterclockwise. And you could go starting the other way, but I think I usually do it on my own with the left foot forward first. In any case, you're going to shift the hips a little bit as you do it. So as your hands go from your, what is this, your right to your left, your hips are shifted a little bit forward, maybe 70% of the weight's in the front knee, and then, or in the front leg. And as you shift back and your hands move from your left to the right, your weight is more on the back leg. So you're shifting forward, shifting back, shifting forward, and shifting back. And here at first, you're just letting the hands kind of drift in the elixir. Right, and you're stirring the bowl like it's a big bowl and you got to stir it, but you've left your big spoon or your big ladle at home, and you got to get it stirred. So you're going to use your hands. All right, so we're doing stirring. And then if you can, take a little bit of a wider, longer stance. So you don't, that's not necessary. You can keep the feet a little closer, but there's a little bit more shifting forward and back. So you go forward and you roll back and you're stirring this big cauldron. And it doesn't have to be pretty. And if it feels graceful and beautiful, that's good. And if it feels awkward, that's good. Just stir as best you can. And then I'm going to change it up a little bit. So you're going to shift forward and come back and circle. And then now as you come forward, you're going to push the hands palm forward up a little bit higher. And then as you shift back, you're going to pull the hands down low. So you're coming forward up high and circling back to the body down low. And you're coming forward, the hands are up high. And you circle back, the hands are down low until we begin to come into like kind of vertical circles. So now you're pushing forward, shifting the weight into the front leg, drop the hands and pull straight back. So you're pushing forward about the height of the shoulders, drop the hands, pulling back up the hill, pushing forward, pulling back up the hill, pushing forward. This is, if you know Chen style Taiji silk rilling, this is a version of a pretty classic silk rilling training practice. Push forward, pull back up the hill, push forward, pull back up the hill. And this time you're going to push forward, but the hands swing out wide. And then have them come back to the body as you pull down, push forward, up high, up wide, pull down to the body. And then, however gracefully or gracelessly you get there, come back to stirring the cauldron. Shifting the weight with it. You're shifting forward, you're shifting back. You look down at your hands. If your left foot is forward, your hands are going counterclockwise. And then start making the circles just a little bit smaller. And then when you're ready, you can bring the front foot back so your feet are about shoulder apart and you're just kind of stirring the hands in the cauldron. Let the hands come kind of to a still point. Just imagine hands are in the water and maybe the water is just kind of still stirring and little eddies are forming around the hands. I think that's what that's called. And again, the stillness of the water, just kind of notice like the different feelings of movement from the water, just kind of moving the hands. And then either if you create this or you just begin to follow it, just let the hands begin circling the other direction. You're circling clockwise now, or whatever the opposite direction is. So small clockwise circles. Clockwise circles. And you can begin like you're stirring the cauldron now the other way. And we're a little bit close to the end of time, but that's okay. You take your right foot and step it forward. So the other foot's forward now. If you're mirroring me, it's your right foot forward. You begin to stir the cauldron and shift. And as you look down at the hands, now if your right foot's forward, you're going clockwise. This is really exciting. You're stirring it the other way. And you can do a little bit wider and lower stance if you like. That's optional. Stirring the big cauldron. And then you can begin as the hands come forward, they go from your left to your right, they come a little bit higher. As you come back to the body, they go lower and they go higher as you come forward, and then lower, and then however you get there, come push forward. And now the circle is like a vertical oval. Push forward. Pull back up the hill. Push forward. Pull back up the hill. Push forward. Pull back up the hill, you're gonna push forward and pull back. And now as you push forward, the hands come a little bit away from the body and toward the body. In a way, you're transitioning the circle to a horizontal circle, and you come back down and you're stirring the cauldron. Clockwise circles. And if you're going the other way, guess what? All that really matters here is you're stirring something. So just follow the circles and bring the feet back to shoulder width apart, and you're going to stir the circles. And I don't know whether that felt like it flowed easily, or maybe it felt like there were just all these instructions, but however it was, just release it as best you can to the fingertips. You're going to make 3 lowering the chi circles down to the height of the navel. Come down, paws, fingers, palms facing the navel. Up again, lower it down. One more time, coming up. And lower down, and just let the hands land in the navel, whichever way feels better. Close the eyes or keep them gently open. Either way is fine. And here as we close our practice, just take a moment and observe anything that feels like it's happening or arising inside your body right now. Maybe there's a lot to notice. Maybe it's all really calm. Maybe it's hard to observe. Whatever it is that you see or notice or don't notice, just see if you can bring some kindness to it. If kindness seems a bit much, just maybe imagine somehow nodding to it, just a kind of acknowledgement. And take a moment to notice anything arising at the surface of your body, from head to toe. Notice anything that feels like it's arising outside. Just observe it. If it feels okay, then send it some kindness. Or maybe just a imperceptible nod of acknowledgement. And when you're ready, you can release the hands. Look around. One way to close a practice like this is you can bring the feet together. I'm not going to mirror you for this one. I'm going to use my right hand. But you take your right hand over here, probably in a fist. Cover it with the left hand. The right hand is like a ball, like the sun, the yang energy of the sun. On this one, your right hand is yang. Your left hand, a little bit like a crescent moon, the yin of the moon. So you bring your left and right together in front of the heart. And if it feels appropriate, you can join me in bowing as a sign of respect to the practice we did and the work we did. Let that go. That's it.